Welcome. I finally got someone to get sucked in here to be a guest with me, so I'm not just rambling on for however long by myself. So welcoming Ed in. I figure it was prime for the person who's first place in our league and who's probably going to beat the shit out of me this week to be the first guest of the year. So Ed, how's it going?
It's going. I'm the only real 3-0 team. The other one's kind of shit, but
Well, we can get into that here in a minute. But yeah, just kind of some housekeeping. I had a 4-2 week last week with best records, 8-10. So we're getting back off that 1-5 start. So that's we're nothing like starting down, but we're working our way back up. So just a few questions from the league here. And I'll share the screen just so people can follow at home. But you're 3-0. What else is new? You're having a winning season. What do you think's led to that so far? Just looking at your roster here, what stands out as like the this is why I'm here.
three good running backs, honestly.
Yeah,
I didn't.
that's fair. Any concern with Achane and the quarterback in situation in Miami?
No, he's gonna get the ball. Seahawks defense has been pretty good this year.
Yeah,
I mean, they took that whole team out, and he was still getting the ball. So
yeah. I mean, they're definitely going to feature him, but I mean, definitely without two, I think just that whole offensive scheme.
I think
Start
Huntley's gonna play this weekend. So
Huntley is, I think, getting the start on Monday. Yeah, so that's
who
we'll see. Better than Skylar Thompson, I'm supposing, but yeah, I mean Zach's feeling it with Tyreek, so it's definitely something that just kind of is part of it, I suppose.
yeah,
But yeah,
much
three good
rather
running
have the
backs definitely
choice.
stand out, and then definitely dealing with some injuries with some of your wide receivers, but those three running backs certainly carry their weight, I would say. Um, and then just kind of looking at standings right now, a little early in the year for this, but there's only one other 3-0 team. We know you kind of talked a little shit about that. But who do you view as like the contenders right now, other than yourself?
Definitely Tyler's team. That team's stacked. Got lucky last week, and I don't know how I beat him twice, but that team's
Yeah,
pretty.
he's third in scoring, behind you and Bucher. So yeah, I mean, talk about running backs. He's got four really good ones.
Yeah,
And
he's
there was,
another good team. I think. I think
who-
that's
yeah, and you said Bucher.
Yeah, his team's stacked as well. I mean, he
Yeah,
almost put up 200.
yeah,
So
that was quite something to watch. Yeah, Tyler's team obviously with Njoku out definitely struggled with the tight end position. And Ayuk's hasn't been what he's been paid to be so far this year, but I'm sure that'll turn at some point here. But Rashi Wright was a fantastic pick, and his boy Drake London's riding some pine after two pretty good performances actually in the last 2 weeks. So could definitely see some lineup. Yeah, I really feel like the running back's a little tough here though for him, just with four good ones. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to manage having good players on my team. So how
yeah,
would you handle that just like matchup scenarios?
yeah, just go with your guys, the ones you like I do. Seems to
Fair,
work.
fair enough. And let's look at Bucher's team because yeah, I mean 198 2 weeks ago is pretty damn impressive, and he's got a stranglehold on the lead point scorer. There's no shock there, but yeah, Murray's been awesome. Really good keep by him. I was upset when he said that to you who he was going to keep.
Yeah,
Harrison, I think feasts this weekend against Washington, but I mean up and down. There's not really a glaring weak spot. Obviously, Jordan Mason was a fantastic pickup on the waiver wire. Um,
yeah.
and
And who
Kenneth
would have
Walker.
thought
Yep, go ahead.
Kamara at like 30 years old would still be going off like he does?
Niners run game, man. They figure it out. But yeah, no, that's fair. Is there anyone that surprises you that's towards the bottom here? Like, I'll say these 1 and 2 teams. I mean, Bucher's 1 and 2, which and Coleman are 1 and 2, but
No, just
um
them. There's some real shit teams gonna be on.
I think myself and down you could probably put in the shit pile. And
Yeah,
then eight on up. So like the current playoff structure, if we're gonna look at it that way, I think all these teams are pretty viable. Um,
Izzo's team. He should honestly just trade for a keeper, restart next year.
Yeah,
Um,
no, not a bad thought. Puka going down week 1 hurts. Yeah, he did put up a decent week last week. We'll get into that shortly. So
I think
some signs of life. But yeah, certainly a 3 start, not what you want to see. But not a bad looking roster. I mean, looking
no,
at it, it's just some guys underperforming so far.
the
So
other
we're
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I think the other teams are a lot They have a lot of injuries going on.
Yeah, and we'll kind of see that too when we're looking at these box scores here for the projection weeks. But just kind of going back here, myself versus Zach, just kind of looking at here. I left some points on the bench, didn't really matter. I wasn't gonna put in Darnold over Hurts, so I'm not gonna beat myself up over that one. But I might be at some point here moving soon because Darnold's been lighting it up. And Zach with a fine week 111 is going to win you a good bit. Deontay Johnson, Josh Allen really carried the thunder there. I like Zach. Zach always seems to have a good roster. To get 5.5 out of Tyreek and win, I think he'll take that every time.
Yeah, I mean, I think his running backs are not the best, but
No,
expect some more out of those receivers.
I mean it's what year 4, year 5 of Najee, and we're still like waiting for him to burst. And it's like, come on, man. Like but ETN's been a little down, but that Jags situation is kind of weird.
Yeah, it
Uh,
is.
But when he gets cut back and can if Deontay Johnson's going to play this well with I don't think he'll do as well as he did this last week with 24 points, but
No.
if he's going to put up even 10, 12 points a week with once you get Cooper Cup back, I mean it's going to be a really tough team to beat just with the firepower. So I mean I'm not sounding the alarms for my team yet, but I really need my running backs to get healthy. I took a shot on Brooks. And
I think that's gonna change it for you, honestly.
I do too, but I got to be competitive at the same time with that. And no more Tyler Johnson spot starts for me. I learned my lesson on that one. And then just moving on to your team, Nate. I mean, there's definitely some injury bugs on team Nate going on with AJ Brown, Ingram. Hollywood's been out all year. But yeah, and Rashid Shaheed is the boomer bust guy. He definitely busted. AR had a pretty bad game, 3.4 points. And I mean, just not much to highlight there other than Jonathan Taylor. But Goblin with a good bounce back, gets his first one of the year. Obviously concerns with no CMC, no Debo. This week, no problem, just with the big week that he got out of Aaron Jones and Chuba. His running backs really carried the story here for me, obviously.
Yeah, it's a little shocking, honestly, but
yeah, I think I picked Nate. I mean, I think I had bought high on Nate's stock because I wanted him to do well this year after that first week one where he put up 140, but it's been a firm regression back to the norm that we usually see with his team. Then we got the brother battle here with the Pizzles versus the Couch. The Couch did not get fucked this week. He got a positive winning record for the first time, I think, in 3 years for Ryan. So that's good for him. Signs of life from Pizzle, kind of like I said earlier, 109. It's pretty great for a team that hasn't really shown anything so far. So we'll see. I don't think this roster is bad. I just think it's kind of been unfortunate with some of the injuries. Mixon and Puka obviously are the glaring ones, but and Laporte is off to a slow start. A lot of tight ends are Kelsey, Andrews, a lot of the old guard, I guess you could say, a little down. And the Ryan's team here, I mean, Lamar's had three really good fantasy weeks in a row. 15, that's fine.
I've never experienced one of those. So
what's that?
I've never experienced one.
Yeah, you've gotten Lamar a few times, but two upper 20s performances. Jefferson does his thing. Jawan Jennings obviously is the highlight of the week as far as pickup and play. So that's good for Ryan getting that win there. Anything else you see that kind of stands out? I got one more thing that I see that I think needs to get pointed out, but
no, go for it.
Just DeAndre Swift, man. I mean, Ryan took a shot with the keeper, and
dog shit.
Yeah, he's not. They've been breaking down his film, and man, he does not know how to hit a lane. It's bad. It
runs
it's
into the back of the defense or blocker. Yeah,
yeah. DJ Moore seals the outside for me. Just runs straight into DJ Moore's back. So, not ideal there for him. But we'll see if he can figure out that running back room. But he's got a lot of firepower in the receiver and quarterback room. So, we'll see if that can carry him.
It's not bad.
No, George getting his first win of the year against Bucher. Obviously Saquon carries the weight there. Malik Neighbors, guy I was really hoping to draft. Should have just pulled the trigger on him earlier, but I did not, and I'm regretting that because he's been off to an awesome start. Amon-Ra back to doing what he does, and then everyone else kind of just here and there. But those power three right there, filling it in, and then just looking at Bucher, 112. I mean, you're going to beat a lot of teams putting up 112. Just kind of Jamar looks like Jamar again. and just kind of some non-touchdown weeks, I think, for these guys. But two solid performances, good win for George.
Those are two good 1 and 2 teams.
I agree. I think these two teams can actually could really compete for winning at all this
Okay.
year. You know, the RB2 situation for George, if I'm going to be harsh on Ryan, I got to look at this one too. You know, Rashad White's been a very poopy, I guess. I would be surprised if Bucky Irving's the starter there in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, I think everyone's expecting it.
Yeah, so I mean, and then with Bucher, I mean, he's got Kenneth Walker, who's been gone down with injury, which is great that he has Mason, because once Walker's back, obviously that's a really, really formidable lineup. Then you have too many guys, and you know Purdy hanging up there on the bench, your boy, with a nice 26 piece. I know it pains you to see that.
It hurt. Yeah, it hurt not to get him.
All right, looking at you here against Tyler, I'll let you just kind of take the lead here on what you experienced on Monday night.
That was Jaden Daniels doing all the work for me.
He
It
was
was
impressive.
Yeah, no doubt. I took a flyer with him, and I think it's going to work out pretty well. He's had 2 +20 weeks already. I mean, when he played the Giants, they just didn't get in the end zone, but we've seen week in and week out that he gets down the field.
They haven't punted in 2 weeks.
I know, it's crazy.
First time I think in like 80 years. They said like 1940, something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, these stats are. I mean, look at the completion percentage, man. 70, 79, 91. I mean, he's not just doing dump offs too. He's hitting guys deep. He's very impressive. I think Washington's got a good one. I don't think we have any commies fans in here, but I would be excited. I have a few friends who are very ecstatic about him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Shakir was a guy that I liked a lot in the draft, and I was kind of hoping I would be able to get him to fall to me. But he had a nice week for you. I think that's going to be just standard. He's Josh Allen's guy.
Yeah, I think all I really need is like consistent receivers with the running backs. So
yeah, and Terry, obviously with the Jaden Daniels pairing, he's
get going. Yeah,
which is something that fantasy owners of Terry McLaurin have been asking for a while. And then just your running backs. I mean, down me for HN, but 32 points between your other two. No, that's great. And Bauer is just filling in there. I mean, when I look at Tyler's team, a huge week from Kyron. I think it's going to be the standard, just with the lack of receivers available for the Rams. And Mahomes has been pretty down as far as fantasy quarterbacking goes, 16th.
I saw a stat like Patrick Mahomes only gets like 20%, 20 points or more in fantasy, like 14% of the time.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a run. I mean, he can run, but it's not his game, right? Like you see in fantasy, like the Daniels and Jet and Lamar and Hurts and a lot of these guys who have had success over the years in fantasy, they run the ball, and he just doesn't have the running upside. I think you see the same thing with Stroud a little bit. He doesn't run the ball. That's why I wasn't interested in drafting him. But yeah, I mean, the glaring thing for me too with Tyler's team is just 2 weeks in a row of no tight end production at all. And 115 is a good score, but when you're going to get up against teams such as yourself or these other top fighting contending teams, it's going to be hard to overcome that with no production in that room. So obviously Njoku's out, but yeah, I mean even with Njoku, man, he's not like he's
Yeah.
I mean, he'll give you some booms, but he certainly can put up some goose eggs himself, especially with Watson playing quarterback back there.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll let you hit on your other 3-0 team here first. I labeled this one the Turd Fest, but I'll let you. What are your thoughts here?
I don't even know. Man. It's a bunch of shit. I don't know how we're 3-0 with like Tony Pollard, and I mean this team isn't even that bad, but I'm not a big James Conner guy. I think
I usually haven't been either, but I mean, other than last week, he's been great. And then Tony Pollard, what did he? I mean, regression there, but I think that was just Tennessee being down early in that game. We really limited him.
And that's a good week for Chris Olave, honestly, probably better than most he puts up.
Yeah, it's been he barely got the ball the first 2 weeks. I mean, what, 2, and then he just took opportunities of his targets. Still 6 targets for a wide receiver 1 is not really what you want to see. And CeeDee Lamb hasn't really gotten going, which is I know he's wide receiver 15 here, but really just had one huge week.
Training camp.
Oh, it certainly is a factor for sure. I think he has a great night tonight, personally. But
I do, yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, there's definitely a lot of potential on this team to score a lot more than this. But so far, it's been low hundreds, 95 here, but gets the win. Mike's team, I mean, this is just an underperformance of a lifetime here from a lot of these guys. The first 2 weeks they looked great. Ramondre Avis started off things hot with that .3 on Thursday night for him. I'm curious how he's going to look moving forward with the Patriots because I think kind of come back to earth a little bit with that team.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Charbonnet's been a great fill-in, and he's got some good options on the bench when the time comes when Walker's back. But
Probably time to move on from Likely as well. I mean,
yeah, he had that huge first week, right? But I mean, that's the world of tight ends. And I mean, Fryermuth, you're definitely not going to get the boom that you're going to get with Likely, but you're
Yeah.
going to get your 5, 6, 7 points. You might find the end zone 3, 4 times a year. So, uh, it's fine, serviceable. I'm sure Tyler would take him. But yeah, a lot of good options on the bench here for roster flexibility. But yeah, just their down week all in all for Mike's team. I think that's a -5 from the Cowboys defense is something you're probably not going to see for the rest of the year.
Yeah, that's wild, honestly.
Yeah, so just kind of glossing that over. Yeah, I mean, I think no one really I don't know. I think it's like our league every year, man. Parity is king. 1 week, I mean, we saw it with Nate put up 140, now he puts up 65.
Yeah.
Just a lot of moving and grooving throughout. So looking
This
ahead
is,
here. Yeah, what do you see here? What do you like about your team this week? Obviously the check marks kind of tell the story here, but
let me get to that. Yeah, I mean, I'm a little nervous about Achan. I kind of want to deal him, but I don't think people are going to give me what he's worth. Um, I don't know. I'm excited. Obviously, your team's down pretty bad with Pacheco out, and you're still waiting on Brooks to get back. Kelsey's been a dud so far. I think my team just needs to stay consistent, like they have, to kind of win this. But I
yeah,
mean,
and what you see with just looking at your team here, looking at the rankings for these players, I mean, these are not backups, but I mean a lot of top 10 guys in their positions. That the consistency is there, so that's kind of what you're talking about there.
yeah, I mean, I'm a little nervous with just playing Shakir and McLaurin. Devonta Smith is my guy. But I think Terry McLaurin especially is going to start to find his groove with Jaden Daniels as the year goes on. So I'm hoping it just gets better. But yeah, I mean, looking at your team, you're always scared about Derrick Henry, and DJ Moore can always put up a 40-point game whenever. I mean, Bears defense could get you another 40-point game. So
Yeah, and Stafford likes to sling it, but yeah, DJ Moore is probably a fun one to talk about. Just kind of the volume is there, right? Like 8,
yeah,
10 targets. It's just and obviously the production's growing week over week. Just with a rookie quarterback, you're going to get that. But I mean, I think it's coming for him. I
yeah,
do.
I hope.
Uh,
I
yeah,
hope.
I hope so too. I hope it's this week and I can surprise you. But yeah, I mean, Kelsey's. I mean, Jesus. And they all talk about it on the Chiefs, like Mahomes, and they like people are just key him. But that's been the same
Yeah.
thing for the last 5 years, and he still put up huge numbers. So it's I think he had a little too much fun this offseason with Taylor, but that's okay. He's earned it, but I hope he can get right the ship here soon. But yeah, I mean this line's super disrespectful though, getting to the picks. I think my team can put up more than 102 points. We've only done it once this year, but I think I'm going to do it this week.
You have good match
Tajay
going for
Tajay
you.
Spears is going to score. I feel it. I feel it big time. But I'm going to lose. You're going to beat me here. I just think it's going to be a lot closer than a 16-point game. Oh, well, I don't want to say that. I think I score more than 102. We'll see what you put up.
Well, I mean, my team hasn't put below 120 yet, so this may be the week. I know it's coming at some point.
Good. All right. So we both have you. I'm
Yeah.
assuming to win this game. All right. And looking ahead to the next one. This is an interesting game. The Pizzles versus Team Nate here. Um, you know, I think this is the spot where Justin gets his first win of the year. I think the flex position is interesting on this team. Obviously, Mixon being out, him getting back in is going to be pretty big for this team. But Zamir White, how long are we going to keep riding this train? I
Yeah.
like Lazard. I like Brooks this week. Or Cooks this week. I think both of those guys probably have good games. I would probably lean to starting Cooks in some capacity. That's just me. But no,
Yeah, I would have dumped Samir 2 weeks ago.
yeah, I mean, just kind of looking at him real quick. Yeah, it's just yeah, I mean, you're just getting nothing. These averages per carry, you're not getting much in the pass game. They like Abdullah and the other running back they have there, I can't recall.
Law Day
Yeah,
or
yeah,
Madison.
yeah, Addison. Yeah. Madison.
Yeah, I mean they have Law Day too, the rookie who hasn't played yet. So
Yeah, I think Madison's definitely gotten the lion's share. I mean, this is good volume. I mean, you're what 15, 12, and 10 touches. So not bad, but
yeah,
not great.
I am
And
very
then
pleased to have Justin pick Sam Laporta before I did. Kind of saved me there because that's
yeah,
really
another
good.
guy, right? I mean, volume super down. It's like kind of like Kelsey, volume super down. Um, I think that gets corrected. I think that offense is still kind of yeah, it's a lot of the same pieces, but they're kind of figuring it out still on what they want to do. A lot of mouths to feed there, especially in the backfield. Then
Yeah,
Team
I
Nate
mean
here. Go
that's
ahead.
the other thing. Jameson Williams has been shocking. He's been bad for every year. I feel like
Well,
since
last
he's
week he was pretty bad.
yeah,
But yeah, first two games. Look at those targets, man. 20 targets in the first two games. So
yeah.
it's kind of again, it's a lot of mouths to feed there. It's just kind of that's kind of like the Ravens offense too. You just have a lot of guys that can earn the ball, right? Andrews likely, Henry, and even Bateman's showing flashes this year. So it's definitely tough. So that's kind of one of those teams. It's tough unless you have a running backs. It's kind of tough to figure out week to week what you're gonna get. Looking at Nate, I mean, it's tough there when you have Justice Hill starting a game. Hasn't been awful.
No, he's
Um,
been pretty good, but I mean, he's just not getting the volume you want.
he's doing better than Zamir White, so that's a good comparison. But as your other running back here, and obviously AJ Brown, Ingram, and Warren, I think is out this week. So it's just some injuries here dealing with that. But yeah, I think this is the right time for Pizzle to get a win
I
here. What
mean,
do you
if
think?
Damian Pierce can get
Mhm.
healthy in time for Sunday, I don't think Mixon plays again. So that may be a he's
Yeah,
definitely
Mixon's probably not going to play. They're not going to rush him back. Aging, running. I mean, this is what this is what we thought we were going to see with Mostert last year. It's
yeah.
just an aging running back injury, just kind of normal. It's a ham. I mean, it's an ankle injury, so not super structural, but it definitely can't really plant and drive with that. So
No, I mean Mike Evans has been disappointing this year. This may be his first year that he doesn't hit 1,000 yards, but
let's see. Yeah, I mean he's not on pace for it right. I mean, good first week, 2 touchdowns. That's just Mike Evans, man. He's super touchdown dependent. It's what you get. But there's a
yeah,
lot of years where he puts up 10, 12 touchdowns, so it works itself out. But pick wise, what are you feeling here?
yeah, this is such a toss up. Jesus, I'm gonna give it to Pizzle. Honestly, I
All
think
right.
I just have a gut feeling Sam Laporta. I know he's a little knocked up after his ankle sprain, but I feel like he finds the end zone and kind of carries that a little bit.
Yeah, I just feel like it's the right week for him, and it just feels right. Then moving on here, we got Mind Goblin, D's Nuts, and the Moody White Johnson. What did I write down?
Yeah,
Technical difficulties. I well, you go first because I got to collect my thoughts here a little bit on this one.
I'm really leaning towards George here. I think his team's pretty stacked for the most part. I mean, the biggest weakness I see is probably tight end and that flex, but not starting Kyle Pitts is, I mean, it's a little risky.
Well,
Colt
Komet
Kmet,
was awesome last week.
yeah, he was, but I mean, the first 2 games he wasn't really involved at all. So
Yeah, I like this trend. We've seen a lot of guys with negative trends, but I mean, the target share has gone up. It's kind of, you love 11 targets for a tight end. I think rookie quarterbacks do love their tight end. I mean, look at Zach Ertz with Washington. It just kind of goes hand in hand with these young quarterbacks. But the thing that caught my eye with this one was just these matchups for these guys. Like, if you look at Wazinski's team, a lot of tough defenses. Pittman's been a disaster this year. That's one guy I stayed away from.
So is AR.
Yeah, AR is definitely not shown that he's made some fantastic plays, but all in all, has been pretty mediocre. Other than Chuba and I mean the running backs are really strong here with these three starting. I know CMC is obviously gonna be tough, but I just kind of look up and down here. Kincaid against the Ravens. Arizona's defense has shown some prowess. Green Bay's defense has been very good this year. I do think Aaron Jones still has a good game. Denver's defense is always strong. So just a lot of tough draws there for me. And where I look at Georgia's team, Dallas can't stop shit in the air. So many neighbors probably goes off. Seattle's defense has been great, but Amon Ra is kind of one of those indefensible guys. Bucks defense, I think they're down Vita Vea still, so their run defense is not as good. I just like the matchups on Georgia's side more, and I think this game kind of. I think Wazinski just has a kind of a down week, and George has a strong week. So I think George wins this one by a pretty handle margin.
And I honestly see Saquon putting up like another 40-point game this week, especially if they're out their best two receivers.
Yeah, and Hurts has been turning the ball over like crazy, so they definitely want to get it out of his hands. So let's see, we're both on George. So far we're 3 for 3 on same picks. I think Wazinski, if he could stay floating until Debo and McCaffrey get back.
I don't even know if McCaffrey's coming back.
From what I read today, even when he comes back, it's going to be a not CMC level amount of production or at least volume.
I mean, Mason's definitely good enough to still get them to the playoffs from where they want to.
Sure, but from a fantasy perspective of his team, it certainly is not what you want to hear.
No.
So looking at the couch here versus Tyler, looking at the couch here, primetime Lamar usually puts up some pretty good numbers. I would say, a lot of, again, kind of same thing with Wazinski. Tough matchups here. Minnesota's defense has been great, so Josh Jacobs possibly down. Swift is just terrible. Jair Alexander, I think, has a pretty good history against Jefferson. Could be wrong. Cleveland's defense is good, so just kind of some tough goes. Even Jawan Jennings against New England's defense. I assume he's going to get some Gonzalez treatment, which that dude is unbelievable if you haven't watched him play. But he's a lockdown corner guy. And then Coleman here, it's what did I even write down here? I think it's, what did I even write? I mean, he needs to win this one, right, to stay kind of contending. I think this roster can certainly do so. I think these guys all have fine weeks. Ayuk is gonna, I think, be in that same boat as Jennings, just not a great week. And James Cook, we'll see against the Ravens defense. Ravens historically just don't give up a lot on the ground. And the Bears defense has been pretty solid, but Kyron's just gonna get the volume. But I look at the tight end spot here. Obviously, McBride versus Juwan. It looks like Njoku's had a projected score, so we'll see if he slides him in, but still, I like McBride's upside a lot this week against Washington. So for that reason, I picked Ryan to take this one down.
I think I'm going to go with Tyler here.
All right.
Yeah.
I love it.
I think that team's just too stacked. To
I lied. I picked Tyler. My notes are terrible. You know why I picked Tyler? Because DeAndre Swift.
That's the main highlight. Yeah. That's probably the only bad starter other than like Juwan Johnson, probably. But
that's kind of like the match. Obviously McBride's a top level guy, but yeah, I mean, the battle of who's going to get more, you can survive. As we kind of saw last week, Tyler almost beat you with no production in the tight end spot. You can't really win a lot of games when you're not getting anything out of your running back room. It's just tough to do.
Yeah.
All right, so I did pick Tyler. Sorry, Ryan, to get y'all worked up there. Let's see here. We got Bucher versus Mike. This is a massive projection for Bucher.
I mean, it's hard not to have a massive projection with these guys. So
you're not wrong, especially after some of the weeks that what Chase just did and Harrison against Washington. And Godwin's just been awesome this year. A lot of, you see a lot of questionables there. I don't think any of these guys are going to miss the game.
No,
So looking at that, yeah, I mean, I just love the matchups that they're getting. The Panthers corners get torched. Even last week against the Raiders, they didn't. I mean, their offense just carried that weight there, but certainly not a great defense in the air for sure. And then, yeah, I just see a lot of good matchups here. And looking at Mike's team, I think Mike beats. I mean, I feel like Mike has a good week. This feels like I mean, production feels fair. I think he probably pushes 120. I just think Bucher's just lined up for a monster week.
yeah, it's hard not to pick Bucher with that team, honestly. So
I mean,
it's great.
to try to poke holes in it here, just for fun. Obviously, Mason against that Patriots defense is going to be tough. I mean, looking at Kyler against that Washington defense, yeah, it's just
That's going to be an air raid game.
Kyrie Fairbairn just puts up points.
Yeah,
Titans defense, I think, is a nice play against Miami, whether it's Huntley, Thompson, whomever. You're going to get some turnovers. I do think Cowboys defense probably has a good game. That's the way I can see Mike winning is if the Cowboys defense gets a prime Danny Dimes pick six.
he's been looking good the past 2 weeks, though. Overall,
I guess. I mean, with now I want to take a dive into Danny Dimes, which did not think I'd be saying this year. I assume he's a free agent.
yeah, I think you're
Is
right.
he rostered? Oh my god, he's rostered. He is
Oh,
rostered.
I forgot I did that.
Oh, you have him. Last 2 weeks have been pretty solid. Last week
Yeah.
he was good against Cleveland, yeah.
I mean, that's not like the easiest defense to like go up against.
No, it's not. I agree. He didn't play horrible. I just think that Browns offense is so bad that
Yeah,
it kind of gasses the defense when your offense can't move the ball.
I hear you. I mean, I'm going to start JD every week.
Oh, sure.
So
Yeah, I don't dislike Daniel Jones' fantasy outlook, but as an actual like quarterback, he's
I
not.
hear you.
We've had what it's been 7 years of Danny Dimes. We know what he is. You'll get the rushing upside, but yeah, team. I think Bucher just is poised for just a huge week this week, unfortunately for Mike. And the last one here, we got the Rock Boys versus Milk. Uh, I was going into this kind of expecting to one, the projection kind of surprised me, but two, just kind of I was expecting to just get to go Milkman without really thinking about it. But a lot of good matchups here for Josh. Like, I mean, Dak and CD against the Giants defense.
Dallas Goddard get more than 9.2. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, their pass defense, especially their linebacker coverage, is not good. Washington's just defense is horrible. So James Conner probably has a good week. Miami, their defense is not what it was last year. So I just like a lot of the matchups here for Josh, and the projection makes sense when you look at it that way.
Yeah.
And the Raiders defense isn't great against the run. So even Jerome Ford isn't a bad play at all. And then Josh, obviously Tyreek's not going to be what Tyreek can be, most likely. Najee stinks. Houston defense. I think Houston's looking for a nice bounce back after that loss. And Josh Allen probably does Josh Allen things as he typically does. But I don't think it's going to be enough this week just to kind of carry. The only thing, and I don't think you're going to get 25 out of Deontay Johnson again.
No.
So I end up picking Josh here against my own. I love to talk shit about Josh's team. It's like what I love to do the most. He gets so fired up about it, but I can't this week, and so I just went with Josh.
Just because I want to be the only 4-0 team, possibly, I'll pick Zach.
All right,
Yeah.
going with the milk. Never gonna go wrong going with the milk. The defending champion, looking to put himself into a 3-1 start. So yeah, I mean, just kind of looking at rough standings here, just to kind of play this game. I mean, this is the points for is always the telling sign, right, of who's going to end up being where. So, I mean, this feels right to me as far as the top teams right now. Just with projection, obviously Bucher's number is slightly slanted with that huge number he put up, but I still think he has a great roster.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ryan being fourth here kind of doesn't surprise me, but I'm sure he's pretty happy about that start.
Yeah. I mean, 368.4 is not too bad.
I mean, we're Bucher's doubling what Justin's put up so far. Uh, that's not what you want to see. Then points against is always a fun game. Wazinski's kind of catching the brunt end of that so far. I mean, 315 puts him where? Okay, so it's not like it's a ton, but still. Yeah, Nate. I mean, it's kind of funny how these things work out to where the points against obviously dictates whether you win or lose, right? Um, but
Yeah, I mean, I'm usually on the brunt end of that, so it's nice to finally have a year.
well, you'll like this one. We're down here. Maybe is that why Josh is 3-0, you think?
Maybe part of the reason.
Mm.
268. It's like it's essentially playing like two games.
Yeah, it is. I mean, just kind of going up the scale. I mean, Mike's had a nice go, so has Ryan, but he's got the points to back it up. So
Yeah.
I think that's we'll see what Josh. I think Josh wins this week, like I said, but we'll see moving forward if he can get this number up because what I mean, he's third to last in scoring. So obviously that's got to turn if he wants to be a legit playoff contender, for the holistic season. Obviously, right now, way too early. Playoff projections here. This feels,
I do think I have a 95% chance of making it.
that sounds right. Yep.
Pending ACLs. But
Yep. Knock on wood. Yeah, I mean, yeah, 3-0 starts are gonna bode well for you. So yeah, I think that's gonna be about it for this week. Wanted to, get some co-hosts on here. Maybe I just do whoever plays me this week or that week will be who I have on. Just so they can talk a little shit. Anything you want to say to me before our matchup starts?
no, I don't think either of us have anybody playing tonight, so
I don't think so either.
the
Which
best
is
win. I don't know. I think I always fare pretty well against you, honestly.
well, I don't fare well in this league, so that makes sense. I think I'm a pretty firm 500 or under record
Yeah,
lifetime in this league. So
honestly, what I'm at, but it just seemed the teams seem to click at some point.
well,
So
that's all you can ask for. But
yeah,
so synopsis, we both think Josh is just a fake team that's gonna fall and crash here. And we have some contenders that we think are gonna rise up from this 1-2 start to kind of assert themselves as powerhouses here. But yeah, any closing remarks for the league?
nope. Mine to win again.
There it is. Needs the belt back. Empty storage closet waiting for it to get put in.
Yeah.
We haven't had a 2-time winner yet, so this could be the year.
I've come close, but
yep. Thanks to Stefan Diggs. That Ryan would love to talk about it at any point.
Yeah.
But you've gotten the Monday Night Luck since then, so
I have.
But I'm sure you wish you could trade it all away for that. But
yeah, it'd be nice to have it twice. Who knows?
well, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, all right, signing off. Best of luck to everyone this week, except for Josh. And even though I picked you to win, but see ya.